In this reference video, we will go over special right triangles and trig functions. And so there's two you probably should know: 45, 45, 90 and 30, 60, 90. And so with a 45, 45, 90, the corresponding 45 angles will be x, and the hypotenuse, the 90-degree angle, will correspond to x times the square root of 2. And so as an example, sine 45 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is x divided by hypotenuse, which is x square root of 2. And so once we rationalize the denominator, we would get sine 45 is equal to the square root of 2 divided by 2. So for 30, 60, 90, the corresponding side for 30 degrees is x. The corresponding side for 60 degrees is x square root of 3. And the corresponding side of 90 degrees is 2x. And so if you have sine 30, it's going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is x, hypotenuse is 2x. And so sine 30 is 1/2. Likewise, sine 60, opposite x square root of 3 divided by hypotenuse, 2x. So the x's cancels, and we get is equal to the square root of 3 divided by 2. Now, say if you have a problem like sine 11 pi divided by 3, it will depend whether it's positive or negative based on what quadrant it's in. So in this quadrant, everything is positive: sine, cosine, and tangent. They're all positive. In this quadrant, only sine is positive, cosine and tangent is negative. And in this quadrant, only tan is positive, sine and cosine is negative. And in this quadrant, only cosine is positive and sine and tan is negative. And there's a mnemonic: all students take calculus. So all students take calculus. Another useful thing to remember is 30, 45, and 60 degrees. So sine 30 would correspond to 1/2. Sine 45 would correspond to the square root of 2 divided by 2. And sine 60 would correspond to the square root of 3 divided by 2. Likewise, cosine 30 would correspond to the square root of 3 divided by 2. Cosine 45 would correspond to the square root of 2 divided by 2. And cosine 60 would correspond to 1/2. So the way I like to remember this piece is, sine goes from 1/2, then square root of 2 divided by 2, then square root of 3 divided by 2. And cosine is like the opposite. It goes in like the reverse order. And also, if you notice, the denominator is the same, 2, 2. But then the numerator, it changes from the square root of 1, which is 1, then square root of 2, then the square root of 3. So that might be helpful to remember. For tan 30, it's square root of 3 divided by 3. Tan 45 is 1, and tan 60 is the square root of 3. Other useful things is like sine pi over 2. So that's like sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. Likewise, sine 3 pi over 2 is -1 because it's going to be right here. And then you have like cosine 0 and 2 pi, so it would be here, and that's going to be +1. Likewise, cosine pi would be -1. And so let's do this problem right here. Sine 11 pi over 3. And this whole circle is 2 pi. And so if I go 4 pi, I'm doing this twice, but I still land on the same spot. And so 12 pi over 3 would be this spot right here. But we have 11 pi over 3. So we have a little bit less. So we'll be somewhere here. And so we know that sine 11 pi over 3 will be negative because it's in the fourth quadrant. And only cosine is positive. And so the answer would be negative sine parentheses pi over 3. And we know sine pi over 3 would correspond to the square root of 3 divided by 2. And so sine 11 pi over 3 would be negative the square root of 3 divided by 2. And that's pretty much it for this reference video.